The Haunting of Sir Francis Drake. Sir Francis Drake, born between 1540 and 1543, was a British admiral who navigated the vast seas across the globe between 1577 and 1580 during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. He was born on Crowndale estate of Lord Francis Russel, and his father Edmund Drake was the son of a tenant farmer. Unfortunately, Edmund Drake was accused and likely guilty of an assault and robbery in 1548, making Sir Francis Drake between the age of 5 to 8 years old. Due to this, Sir Francis was brought up and raised among relatives in Plymouth, such as the Hawkins family, who were merchants and pirates, and when Sir Francis reached 18, enlisted in the Hawkins family fleet of piracy. They mainly targeted plunder off the French coast until the 1560s, when Francis began interest in the African trade. In 1568 he gained command of his own ship, which conducted illicit slave trading among the Spanish colonies of the Caribbean. The Spanish authorities began to pursue regulation of trading and would regularly impound contraband, but Sir Francis believed this was wrong, and that he had suffered as a result of this, and swore he would make these wrongs right again. His second voyage to the West Indies ended in disaster in San Juan off the coast of Mexico, when his ship was attacked by Spanish authorities, and many of his companions were killed. He escaped narrowly with his life and set back to England, with determination of revenge on the Spanish and the Spanish King Philip II. However, even with such disaster, his expedition raised the attention of Queen Elizabeth I, whom also had interest in the trading of slaves. In 1572, she issued Sir Francis a privateering mission, which gained him a license to plunder in the territories of the Spanish, and set sail for America with the intent to capture important towns such as Nombre de Dios. During this attack, however, Sir Francis was wounded and fled to save himself and his crew. With this, he had still gained a fortune of plunder and silver, and returned to England rich and famous. Unfortunately, during his return, Queen Elizabeth and King Philip of Spain had agreed to a temporary truce, and therefore the Queen could not accept Sir Francis' act of piracy. This caused him to flee to Ireland, where he served under the Earl of Essex and kept a low profile for 5 years. In 1577, he was chosen as leader of an expedition around the South Americas, issued by the Queen herself to do the most amount of damage to the Spanish Empire. He, however, dedicated the expedition almost entirely to piracy, and raided merchant Spanish ships, increasing his fortune incredibly with gold, silver, pearls, gems, and Spanish coins. He had already sailed as far as the Brazilian coastline of South America and up to the north of Canada, parallel to Vancouver, until he eventually found the bitter cold too much and coasted towards San Francisco, which he then claimed and the surrounding country in the name of Queen Elizabeth I, naming it New Albion. On September 26, 1580, Sir Francis Drake returned to Plymouth Harbour with his vast treasure-filled ship weighing over 100 tons, permanently engraving his fortune. The Queen herself boarded his ship and personally bestowed knighthood on him, giving him the title of Sir. In the following years, Sir Francis Drake was made Mayor of Plymouth. He married and purchased a lovely country house called Buckland Abbey, now claimed to be haunted by his very ghost. His heroic fame made him never short of volunteers for his next expeditions. However, this was his unfortunate demise. An expedition led by himself to Portugal became his last voyage. In 1596, within Spanish territory, his crew had succumbed to a devilish fever and sickness, with Sir Francis also catching it. It unfortunately killed him, and he was buried at sea. Sir Francis Drake's very home, Buckland Abbey, is said to be an extreme hotspot for sightings of his own ghost. He was definitely regarded as a hero of the British Empire during his life, and many of the locals feared him as they believed he had supernatural powers. A rumour had sparkled across England, with the rumour being that the only reason he had defeated the Spanish armadas was that he made a deal with the devil himself. The incredible feats of the Spanish Empire were vastly outweighed a mere man who was only a young pirate. The thought of him defeating full armadas of ships was unheard, and very hard to believe, especially to be one of the few men left alive on some expeditions. It makes it hard to believe that he wasn't the devil himself. As punishment for his demonic ties, his ghost is seen riding in a black coach across Dartmoor, driven by headless horses, and followed by 12 chattering goblins, and followed again by a pack of black, foul, barking hellhounds. Any living dog that hears the bark of these hounds is said to die instantly. Drake's drum is said to be the most haunted possession of Buckland Abbey, It is the war drum attended on the expeditions of Sir Francis, including his very last. As he lay dying, his final words were to take the drum back to England, engraving his spirit into the drum. It is said the drum will beat whenever England is in danger, but the last time the drum was heard was 1939, when another war hung over Europe, in which began World War II.